The market right now, brothers, is kind of boring as if, and I'm getting tired of like nothing really happening. You know, Bitcoin's back at $82,000, Ethereum's at 2.1k, Solana's at 127, and nothing is really happening. So I wanted to do an update video of like a tier list on if you were buying today at the time of recording mid-March, what would kind of give you the best returns. Now again, there's many coins on this list. I can't give you every single coin. Most of these coins I have in my portfolio. I shouldn't say most, at least, you know, half of them I have in my portfolio. And most of them I don't. It doesn't mean I don't like them. You know, you just can't catch every single horse. But some people are asking what coins to be accumulating in time like this. Because if you believe the 2025 bull run is going to be here, now is a good time to start accumulating. Although we still could go lower, it just depends on your time horizon. Now, ultimately, if you look at the previous runs, this was one of the best times to buy for a strong bull run in this cryptocurrency for the next wave. Because as you can see over here, just on CoinMarketCap, if you look at the 30 to 90 days, in the last 30 to 90 days that is, there is red across the board. And what's surprisingly interesting is Ethereum is almost down 50% in the last 90 days. You have to think about this. This coin at the current time of recording is worth $253 billion. It's pretty much been cut in half. Number 2 asset on cryptocurrency in CoinMarketCap. I think that is crazy. So we're going to rank these coins and prices of today for a better 2025. Again, if you look on the week, it's red. If you look on the month, it's really red. If you look in the last 3 months, it's extremely red. But, you know, over the last year, we have some red, but of course we have some coins in the green. So again, this could be a good video for you. This is not financial advice, this is spiritual advice. But if you're looking for new coins to invest, I'm going to try and rate them in my best efforts. But as we know, cryptocurrency prices are very volatile right now. But most of these coins I do believe on. If you're investing today, you will make money by 2025. I don't think there's any on this list that won't make you money if you're investing today. I would love to know if you disagree with this, but I think most of these coins are safe. Some of them are low market caps, some of them are high market caps, but it's all about building that diversified portfolio. Now again, on this list, we're going to have the top categories being a 20x plus. Obviously, it's red for a reason because it's a little bit risky. And then you're going to have your 2 to 3x's, your kind of medium terms. Remember, this is at the price of the day. This could all change, but again, I'm going to try and be honest, and I'm not going to try and, you know, show my bags to you. I want you guys to have a good bull run, but again, you're not going to have a good bull run if you watch this video and you panic if stuff goes down 10% tomorrow, because that is happening right now in the market. All these liquidations are crazy. So again, this is a set and forget about it portfolio for, again, the next 6 to 9 months, which in normal investing terms isn't even a long term to make a lot of money. And again, you have to ask yourself, you're probably asking, why is there a little sad stick man here? If you are an emotional investor, maybe cryptocurrency isn't going to be for you, because some of these coins, like Ethereum's down 50% that we just seen in the last 90 days. You might be thinking, well, Ethereum's a safe coin, but again, if you can't handle 50% drops, and some of these coins on this list that we'll talk about in a second are down more than 50%. If this is you, you should probably not invest in cryptocurrency. But if you are here for the bull run and you don't mind about DCAing when stuff gets tough, because I can promise you, if you look at previous bull runs, now is the time to be investing, as long as you have that longer term horizon. If you don't, you're going to be little Jeffrey that's sad. But if you do, you are going to make a fuck ton of money, as long as you know how to take profits. And we're going to talk about that going forward. So I'm going to give you one pro and one con with each of these coins. And I'm going to try and be, like I said, non-biased as possible. Remember, market caps are a real thing. And if you don't believe with some of my multipliers on this video, I would love to have a little fight with you in the comments section below and go back and forward. Now, again, everybody's got their favorite altcoin on this list. Maybe your coin isn't on this list, but probably at least, you know, most of you guys are going to have one of these coins in this list. So if you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to know your controversial opinions in the comment section below. So let's get into this. Now, the first one is Ethereum. So let's talk about the pros and cons with Ethereum. The first pro, which a lot of newbies are not going to understand, but the first pro is, as we just discovered, it is down, okay, 50 or so % in the last 90 days. And you might be asking, well, that's not a good thing. Well, again, this is an investment portfolio, okay, for the 2025 bull run. Again, if you bought this when it was like, you know, $4,000, I can understand that it's very, very difficult if you're an Ethereum holder. But you have to understand you're here for 2025. And you have to also understand the DCA mentality. Last time I checked on this channel, we were DCA hodlers, e.g. we put money in when we get paid, if that's every single week, bi-weekly, every single month. Because if you bought the $4,000 mark, okay, it sucks a little bit, but now you can start to DCA down. I'll give you a perfect example, really what I'm talking about. HBAR. HBAR was one for me that got me absolute wrecked. I never took profits in the last bull run, and I did a stupid DCA of 40,000 fucking dollars. You can go and check that on my channel, are around the 14 cents mark. But what I did in the bear market is I started to accumulate like a madman. I brought my average cost of entry to about 4 or 5 cents, and now I'm up massively. So again, whatever you're investing in these coins, you have to understand, I would really do a DCA mentality, try and cut expenses and all that kind of boring stuff. But let's get into it. So Ethereum, as we know, it's probably going to be here for this bull run. I don't think it's going to go away. Ethereum's getting fuddied a lot in the market right now because people are saying it's slow, it's clunky, and that's true. But the big players like Donald Trump, as we seen the other day, they're buying $10 million plus. We're seeing, other big companies buying a lot of Ethereum, and I still think Ethereum is going to do well. Now, everybody has that question, does Ethereum hit $10,000? I don't think you should wait till Ethereum hits that $10,000 mark. What I should do, or what I would do, is I would maybe take profits at around the $6,000 mark, the $7,000 mark, and maybe the $8,000 mark, in my opinion. And then you leave maybe a 20% bull run strategy going forward. Now, again, what you can see here is you've had like 3 waves on Ethereum. It's pretty obvious. The lows were like 1.1K. You got initial pumps up to 2K. You had the second wave. You had the third wave. And now we're really waiting for that fourth wave. But we're not going to get any, good fucking fourth waves, good fucking fifth waves, unless Bitcoin can sort itself out. And then I truly believe this coin does go to $6,000 to $7,000 to $8,000. And again, this is a lot better buying opportunity at the $4,000 mark, because again, you're buying double the coins. You're literally buying a double the coins because you're buying at $2,000 compared to $4,000. Your dollar value stretches so much, e.g. you buy more coins. We want to accumulate more coins in a bull market to sell for that dollar value. A lot of people get this back to front. It's about accumulating coins in a bull market, selling at the peaks or near the peaks as long as possible, and then coming back in and doing the same thing again. And that's why I'd put it in the 2 to 3x. This could stretch, okay, if we get a blow off top to the 5 to 10x. But again, my goal is not for you guys, I can't click the sell button for you. My goal for you guys is to at least take profits and at least be comfortable with your investments. I'm not going to get everyone right. That's absolutely impossible. But I think this is safe for you guys. If you're a little bit more risky, you could take profits at 2 to 3x, and then you could leave a little bit at 20% in. That's probably what I'm going to do in my Ethereum position, but I'm going to have to comfortably put it in here. Now, the next one is obviously the daddy, the Bitcoin. Again, pro with this one is it's not going anywhere. There's limited supply. BlackRock, Michael Saylor, all these big investors and institutions, ETFs, etc. This coin is probably going to go to $1 million one day. But again, that's not going to be in this bull run. Anybody telling you that of the 400, 500, 600K, I think you're going to be holding the bag all the way down, and that is not what I want you to do. If you look at TradingView, got a lot of stuff on this chart. There's been a lot of dumps, etc. I spoke about this in another video. I'm not really going to talk about it in this video, but you had, again, same as Ethereum. You had your first wave, you had your second wave, you had your third wave, and now we're on a big bit of a dip. Now, again, this dip isn't even that massive, but again, Bitcoin has to have a good bull run, or you can forget about cryptocurrency in this bull run, okay? But again, I think Bitcoin itself probably goes to the 120 mark bearish case, to 150 to maybe 160 to 170K absolute peaks. I don't think you're going to see 200K in this bull run, but even if you do, if you're holding to that level, you're probably playing a risk game and you're probably going to lose it all. Obviously, Bitcoin has to go to the 2 to 3x. It's not going to go here. That would be a 400K to about an 800K Bitcoin in this cycle. If we're talking about the next bull run, I could put it here, but again, you're going to be buying in the bear market, hopefully, and you're going to get Bitcoin even cheaper than what it is right now. So again, I would play it from here, very, very obvious, and I would go from there. The next one is Sui. Sui was a great buy at about the 70 or so cents. It would have got you pretty much an 8x, but now again, you have to ask yourself, Sui at $5, yeah, it's tough, but this goes back to the DCA mentality. You're now getting Sui at $2.30. Sui could still absolutely drop to the $1 level again. It could absolutely drop to the 70 cents level again, but again, if you have the DCA mentality, you'll be absolutely fine on Sui. Another good thing with Sui is you can use this in DeFi liquidity pools that we always do on Ondo Finance. That's for another video in a future date, but it's a great way to accumulate more Sui if you don't want to buy any fresh Sui and you already have Sui in your portfolio. If you look at TradingView, you can see on my previous videos, I put super bearish case would be $7.50, medium case would be about $10, bull case would be 15 to 16. Again, this isn't really that sexy in terms of gains for an altcoin, but again, I think Sui, I mean, if you look at their platform, if you look at their DeFi options, they're coming out with a PSP kind of console, so they're really entering the gaming space as well, which is super, super good. I think Sui's an absolute gem. The market cap, again, is relatively low compared to Solana and Ethereum, so you'll get more gains. I think Sui sits in here. Again, that's the current price of the day, so again, Sui right now is about $2.30. I think it hits the $10 mark, and that's where I would comfortably put it. It can stretch to the 10 to 15x, but again, just like the other coins that we were talked about already and we're going to talk about in the future, you're pushing it. You're pushing it. Of course, you could stretch it, but in my opinion, the first bull run or at least on the bigger asset coins, is to at least bank some profits, and then you can be more speculative with some of the coins that we're going to go over in a second. Now, the next one is Solana. Solana is probably a fucking amazing buy right now. In my group, a lot of people are saying Solana is going to go back to that $90, $95, $100. But again, that wouldn't be a bad risk / reward, because again, although you start your first DC on Solana, the problem with Solana right now is it's a $65 billion market cap. Now, again, you have got a lot of safety with Solana. Again, the best time to buy Solana was around the $8 to kind of $15, where everybody thought it was going to fucking zero. FTX crash, Celsius crash, Bitcoin just dumping. People were saying Solana was going to go to zero. This was the best time to buy. But again, you're getting a massive discount when it pumped up to about $250, $280. You're pretty much getting a 50% discount if you're looking at starting a bull run portfolio today. Now, again, exact same thing that we've seen before. Since about the $8, we had the first wave. The second wave was about $22 till about the 117. We had that third wave, but now we're pretty much back at that kind of third wave entry. Yes, this could fall further. I don't think this is going to fall further than the $90 to $80. Even if it does, it just depends what Bitcoin can do going forward. My opinion, Solana, it's really difficult to say this because I'd like to put this here. But again, if I'm being conservative, it's about a 4x in my opinion. So again, that's at the current price of today, 128. $500, $600. But again, I think Solana can realistically hit the 7, 8, 9, 1,000, maybe even further. But again, I have to put it in here because I want you guys to at least take your initial profits out, and then you could leave a little bit of a moon bag to maybe push for that 5 to 6 to kind of 7x. But again, going to put it conservative, 2 to 3x. But honestly, I think it can go here. All right, let's talk about HBAR. Now, this is a difficult one because, again, we're looking at HBAR at the prices, or the current price of about 20 to kind of 22 cents. If HBAR was here, about the 4, 5, 6, 7 or so cents again, we would put HBAR a much higher multiplier. If you look at HBAR on TradingView, you can see, I've not got the kind of first waves, but you can see kind of one first wave, you kind of have the second wave. Third wave is not really confirmed yet. Again, once Bitcoin Ethereum hopefully starts to move, you're probably going to get a third wave on this very, very soon. But you can see as we start to come down the market caps, you can see how fast these coins can go. This went up an 8x literally in around about a month, and it was really in 2 to 3 kind of weeks with the big fucking candles here. Obviously Bitcoin's having a big dump, but again, the problem with this market cap or chart here is if we were looking at HBAR at about the 4, 5, 6 kind of cents before it moved, we could quite comfortably put it at about the 20x, right? But because HBAR right now is 20 or so cents, that's when we have to be a little bit more conservative. I do think HBAR finally hits $1 in this bull run, so that's when I would put it to the 5x to kind of 10x. It could go further than that, absolutely, but again, I think it smashes the 2 to 3x. Again, the market cap on HBAR right now is $8.8 billion. The good thing about HBAR, and what HBAR was struggling with in the bear market, was the circulating supply, or how many coins were being dumped on the market. The initial investors, the founders, etc., the guys higher up were taking profits, and they should, because they had a lot of locked coins. But again, most of these coins are pretty much, there's only 8 billion coins on the market, which is obviously super, super good for inflation kind of terms. So again, I think HBAR hits a good bull run. I've got a lot of HBAR. It's actually my number 2 coin in terms of my, profits on my whole cryptocurrency portfolio. And again, I think HBAR hits that. But again, if we're looking at, it just depends on your entry, man. You can buy a same coin and get a completely different outcome, and that can just really determine how well you do in the bull run. Now, ICP is a coin that I haven't really held. I held a little bit in, kind of the bear market, but then I sold it off. And it was only because of this chart, right? This chart can very much scare you. It was heavily manipulated. It's pretty much started to like $600, but it didn't really count. And as you can see, the all-time chart in this looks absolutely disgusting. But again, you start to look in the 1 month, etc., it gets a little bit better. So if you're one of the guys that bought a $428 or $300 or $150, you caught the falling knife and you're probably in the red, or you probably sold off a long time ago. But again, this is at the current time of recording. ICP $5, this could be one of the best risk/reward ratios for an altcoin. The market cap is only 2 billion. These guys have got a great product, a great team, and I do think they're going to have a great bull run. They're not going to fizzle away and go to zero. We've already seen the worst kind of case. Again, the last 1 year, it is choppy, 61% down, but it's a lot better, investing at $5.60 if you were interested in ICP at $15. You get to accumulate, let's say you had $1,000, you have 3 times more buying power than if you're buying at $5 compared to 15. If you look at TradingView, we don't really see much apart from the big fucking dumps. We kind of see first kind of wave, but then obviously it is struggling right now, and that is mainly because Bitcoin's taking a big dump. It's a difficult one to judge. I'm going to put it in the 5 to 10x. I'd love to put it higher. Obviously, if it hits a previous all-time high, because it's pretty much just launched at that price, I have to be safe. I think it will do better than this. It probably will beat HBAR's gains at the current time of recording. But again, trying to be conservative. I'm going to put it on there. I don't think it fizzles and go away to zero, but again, you should build that diversified portfolio going forward. Now, ADA had a fantastic bull run in 2017. It had an amazing bull run in 2021. And it's kind of hard, like, you know, kind of 2 to 3 waves. I've kind of got here, bear case, it reached the previous all-time high of $3. Medium case would be $6. Again, the top 10 altcoins, which ADA is currently at the time of recording, obviously excluding USDC and USDT, it should do well. Most of the money will come up to the top 10 coins, and a blow off top, I don't think it hits that $10 mark that everybody was crying about 2021. Let's just get to the previous all-time high. What I can say that's good about ADA is Charles Hoskinson. This guy is the founder of ADA. He's ran successful projects in the past with Ethereum, and then he started his own project. Market cap is a little bit high, but again, most of these coins are way down in terms of market cap than what they are, you know, back to Donald Trump winning the election and when he came in office about January time. 75 cents right now. Again, I'm going to have to conservatively put it in the 5 to 10x. It would be nice to stretch this further, and you could see that at about a $7 mark. But again, conservative hats on here. As always, 5 to 10x is where I can comfortably see this going forward. Now, the next one is XLM. We're going to talk about XRP as well going forward, but XLM is almost like the baby coin of XRP. It was, I guess you could suppressed in 2021, although it still did very, very well depending on what levels you were buying at. But obviously, XRP got sued. XLM follows the XRP chart very closely. But the good thing about XLM compared to XRP is the market cap is way fucking less. And most of these coins are XRP compared to XLM. They do usually follow each other. If you look at XLM on TradingView, you've kind of had 2 big waves. Obviously, XRP had a massive pump, and then, as we know, XLM pumps even higher because the market cap is less. Current price right now is about 26 cents. The market cap is 8.2 billion. I do think this hits the 10x. I comfortably do hit the 10x if XRP can do well. I do think these coins, although they're not typically tied to each other, definitely the price action is tied a lot to how XLM can do. Now, Quant, this is one of the ones that actually sucks. I was super bullish, and there was many YouTubers bullish in kind of 22 and 23, but it has had the most lackluster kind of, you know, bull market runs that we've seen. If you look at the last 1 year, this is really disappointing. And again, this just goes to show, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Why I initially bought QNT was because the max supply is less than Bitcoin. So I was super bullish on the supply and demand there. But again, last 1 year, it hasn't really done anything. Last month, obviously, it's kind of chilling. It's not really getting wrecked. But all time, it's really disappointing. Again, QNT, I really want to see a minimum $400 in this bull run, but it's actually one of the most coins I'm not confident on this list just because it hasn't been performed. They stopped, you know, posting on X. They actually deleted their X account, which I think was very bad for marketing. They have a great product. They have a great business. They actually produce real world revenue, but deleting their Twitter account or their X account, I think was a stupid idea. Don't know why they did that, but again, going to have to put QNT in the 5 to 10x, but it could very well easily be like nothing. It could actually fizzle and do absolute nothing. So if it does well, 5 to 10x. If it doesn't do well, maybe here, but honestly, it could be in a category of its own where it doesn't really do anything. But if it does do well, 5 to 10x, I think you'll be absolutely fine. But do not buy everything in QNT, because if you did, you've done fucking nothing. You've lost money even against, you know, your USD or your, you know, GBP in your bank account. So it's a very difficult one to actually judge. And again, there's so much negative news about QNT just with them deleting their Twitter account. I think that was absolutely retarded in my opinion. But the next one is Brett. One of my favorite altcoins, or one of my favorite meme coins, should I say, mainly because I got so pissed off with people getting rich off like stupid meme coins. I decided to choose the Brett coin for my meme coin biggest bag. I've got that paired in a DeFi liquidity pool on Uniswap. It's maybe about 35 to 40K, which has done super, super well because, as we know, with Uniswap and with DeFi liquidity pools, I got in about $500 million market cap. So a lot of people, what they'll do is like now they'll be panicking because they're actually at a loss, for example. But for me, I've been accumulating free Brett and free Ethereum all the way across here, which even if Brett goes to zero, I've already got my initial pretty much back, so I shouldn't lose money. But I still think Brett's going to do super, super well. The reason for that is, number one, meme coin on base. Coinbase are uploading millions and millions of users as we speak, especially in the peak of the bull run. And again, I think Coinbase will initially, hopefully, list Brett. And again, I think that's when it's going to super, super fly. They listed Toshi, which is like the number 2 meme coin, on Coinbase, which kind of pissed me off because they listed a less market cap. So again, I don't know why that's really happening, but ultimately, if and when this gets listed on Coinbase, I think this coin's going to go absolutely crazy. I think it is a big risk / reward, absolutely. If you look at TradingView, it did super well when Donald Trump won the election, and now it's taking a big beating. Again, I think it is a $10 billion market cap, absolute minimum. But again, there is high risk. So again, if you want to buy this, you have to understand that there's high risk. If this does super well, it will be a minimum of a 10x. I would like to put it to a 20x. But again, just looking at it right now on safety, guaranteed safety, and the guaranteed means if Brett can do well, that's where you're going to get safety. If it doesn't, again, it could be in the category that we just talked about with ICP where it doesn't do anything. But 10 to 15x, in my opinion, especially at these prices, is super fucking easy if they can do well. Now, the next one is XRP. We talked about this with XLM. As we know, XRP was the best buy at 50 cents. It was like a stable coin for absolute ever. And then it pretty much pumped up to, $3 or so. Now it's at $2. So again, if you bought XRP at $3, you should be fucking excited about $2. Yes, I would like to get you guys an entry, and even for myself, about the 40 to 50, kind of 60 or so cents. But in my opinion, those times are gone. And then you just see XRP goes, XLM goes. And yeah, the problem with XRP is a lot of YouTubers are saying this is going to hit $100, $10,000, $1,000. It's not going to fucking happen this bull run, guys. I can ultimately guarantee you that. And if you believe in that, you're going to be one of the guys that are just holding this coin for the next bull run, which if you're involved in 2017 or 2021, you don't want to do that. It's 4 years of your life. Absolute wasted. So again, the biggest problem with XRP is the market cap is not going to get you rich unless you're coming in here with size. I do think this hits the $385 kind of dollar mark, in my opinion. I would put it next to Brett. Could go 15, 20x, but in my opinion, it has to go here. A lot of scrutiny in 2021. They've kind of blown over that SEC lawsuit, which is very good for the whole cryptocurrency market in general. That's where I would comfortably put it. And I think you can do still well on XRP, in my opinion, because I know there's a lot of XRP holders. The problem with XRP holders is they think it's going to be the banking coin of the future. And it might very well be that, but that doesn't mean it's going to go to $100, $200, $1,000 in this bull run. Next coin is Pepe. Pepe's another good coin. If you believe in the meme ecosystem, I think, Shiba is still going to have a good run. I think Dog with Hat is probably still going to have a good run. I think Dogecoin is still going to have a good run. And then you've got, the number of kind of one meme coin, I guess you could say, on Ethereum, about 2.6 billion market cap. Again, it is so fucking cheap if you look at this coin in like the last 1 month, last 1 year. Again, if you bring this coin up on TradingView, it actually looks fine since the lows, right? You've kind of had 2 big waves. It's taking a big beating right now, obviously, since Bitcoin's having a big dump. But since Donald Trump won the election, it pretty much gave you a 2.5x. Now you're pretty much at less than entry right now. So if you kind of missed this initial pump, you should be fucking excited because, again, you can now buy back in for your dollar value, even if you bought in here, if you believe in Pepe. I think it's going to do well. Again, market cap is 2.6. It's probably going to hit a kind of 10 to 15x. It could go to the 15, 20x. But again, just going to be safe. Put it in here, and I think you'll do absolute fine. The next one is Metacade. This is where it kind of gets a little bit speculative. In my opinion, the market cap here is only $19 million. Remember, if we think Metacade is going to do well, they've got a great product. They've got a great team. They've got a great website. And they're a super, I guess you could say, not microcap. I guess you could say microcap underneath $20 million in value. And yeah, if this does well, you're looking at a 20x plus. If it doesn't and fizzles away and goes to zero, we're going to be in that category that I haven't created yet. But again, if the coins do well, you're going to see a 20x plus. You're probably going to see a little bit more than that. But again, should be a very small part of your portfolio, depending on how risky you want to be. Build your main bags up here first, and then you take the bets with Metacade. The next one is Aerodrome Finance. Aerodrome Finance, again, most of these coins are on a big discount. We have this, and one of my guys, Parker, has this. One of our guys that coaches in our 10K Fast Track Accelerator, he has this in a pool. Now, here's the kicker. It's kind of like my Brett position. It's a full range pool. So even if he was buying, let's just say he bought at $2, because this is pretty much on like a massive discount right now, more than 50%, what he's been able to do and what our guys have been able to do in our community is we've been able to accumulate more Aerodrome Finance to mimic the loss, because we're creating fees every single second, every single hour, every single day, and we've accumulated more Aero. We're DCing more Aero for free, using our Aero to our advantage. So again, it's a good strategy if you like coins like this. Big fucking discounts here right now. If you look here, it is 75% down. So again, if you liked Aero at $2.20, you should fucking like Aero at 50 or so cents, because you're buying pretty much 4x as many coins with your $1,000, your $10,000, depending on how much you put in. I think Aero, bear case is $3.50, medium case $5, $9 plus would be a $10, I think, market cap. Yeah, I think I'm going to just comfortably put it in the 10 to kind of 15x at current prices today. If it was $2, obviously it's the same coin, but different outcome because you get to buy at the prices you deserve. Next one is Beam. Okay, as we know, cryptocurrency gaming has not done much in terms of the current time of recording. It's actually done fuck all. But if we think gaming is going to come around, like I still think we will have that gaming bull run that we've seen in 2021 with coins like Axie Infinity, Decentralized Mana, the Sandbox, etc. You should fucking get some gaming coins, in my opinion. Market cap is getting absolutely wrecked right now, $292 million in value for this coin. And if you look at the chart, it looks fucking disgusting. So for me, again, if gaming comes around, you're looking at 20x plus in this one. Again, big risk for this, but it's probably got one of the best websites I've seen in terms of gaming. They actually have a product. They're actually investing in other products as well. A lot of coins in gaming, AI agents, even memes, they don't do anything, but gaming, or should I say Beam, actually does something. Altera is another one, which again, super low market cap. It's kind of that micro cap again. It had a good bull run in 2021. That's the only reason I'm putting it on this list. Then it kind of did lackluster. Then it had a nice, big, huge pump here, actually, of around about almost a 10x. Again, if you liked Altera at 17 cents, you should fucking like it at 0.04 because you're pretty much getting in at more than a 3x discount. So you're putting more dollar value in. You're getting way many coins to hopefully sell for a 2025 bull run. 20x plus if it does well. If it doesn't, yeah, you know where it's going to be, as we all talked about before. Now, the next one is Kaspa. Kaspa is an interesting one. I think Crypto John called this one super early, so shout out him. I don't know if he's still holding. Maybe drop it in the comments below if he is. I'd like to know. Kaspa, again, is at 0.06, almost breaking that $1 billion in market cap. So it's almost in the millions of dollars in market cap, which is crazy because, again, if you look at the all-time kind of chart here, it was chilling over $5 billion market cap not too that long ago. So again, Kaspa is one of the interesting ones on the chart. You've kind of seen first wave, second wave, kind of third wave. So Kaspa's holding strong, even with all this bullshit. If you look at Bitcoin compared to Kaspa, yeah, it looks down 70%, but how much has it came up since like the initial launch? 22,000 plus, even more than that if you catch the first initial dip. So I think Kaspa still does well. It's 0.06. People are saying it's going to go to $1. It could do that, but again, if we're trying to be conservative, 10 to 15x, I do think Kaspa has a good bull run. It's already had a good bull run so far in 24 and 23. It's done absolutely fantastic. But again, you get in the price you deserve. I think Kaspa is going to be one to here to stay. I don't hold any Kaspa just because I wish I was, you would have bought it near when Crypto John bought it. If you did actually buy it, I don't know if you showed that. So I don't hold any. Maybe I'll buy some when Bitcoin starts to recover and I can get an entry in this one, but yeah, I don't hold any, but I think it's going to hit there. Render, number one, I guess you could say number one, number two, number three coin on AI. Render was super hot in 23 and 24. You got prices up to $12, and then you had another initial pump back up to like $10, and now guess what, you're up pretty much 70-80% discount since the 10s or since the 12s. So again, if you like Render, I always say this, at $10, $11, $12, you should fucking like it at 3. I think AI is going to have a good bull run. We've already seen in the real world with stocks like Nvidia do super well. I think that money will rotate down to here. It's almost $1.5 billion market cap, which is crazy. Chart looks okay, even though we're having big dips right now. I've kind of got the support, I guess you could say resistance here, or support at $2.20. If we break that, I'm very scared. I do think Bitcoin will recover before that. So yeah, it just depends when you're looking at. I think Render should, or you should have some AI coins in your portfolio. At the current price today, it's about $3.10. Some people are saying it's going to go to like $60, $70, $100. I'm going to be conservative and put it around about the 15 to 20x. It could obviously push in this category in my opinion, but let's kind of chill it in here for time of recording. If this can get below like the $1.50, $2 or $1.50, 70 or so cents marks again, 50 cents when I was initially looking at it, but I never pulled the trigger. Yeah, you're going to see this. You're probably going to see another category in this as well. I would really start buying heavily, but if you want it back today, that's where I would put it, and I would go from there. Next coin is Veracity. I do have this in a liquidity pool against Ethereum. It's been printing nicely, and the reason I have this one, it's one of my kind of smallest market cap coins, I guess you could say, for this bull run. It had a good bull run in 2021. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to buy it. For speculation purposes, I built up my Maybags first. Again, what Veracity does is there's no other product on cryptocurrency that does this. To give you the TLDR, I guess you could say, without overcomplicating this, these guys actually stop fraud clicks on like Google advertising and some other advertising platforms. So they're great for businesses. The problem was if an investment kind of investors looking at this coin, it isn't sexy, right? It's not scalable. It's not got all these like AI projects. It's not an AI agent. But as a business, these guys have big fucking clients. And again, a $14 million market cap. This is when you could get like the 50x multiplier, the 100x multiplier. If you look at the previous bull run, I'm going to put it in 20x plus. Again, the chart looks fucking disgusting. But again, you can't forget how far this coin did go in 2021. Again, if it does well, that's where I'll put it up. I do have about 10K worth of Veracity, probably less right now because obviously the cheating, but again, I'm collecting free Veracity every single day. As I'm recording this video right now, I am collecting Veracity. So hopefully a good bull run. Doesn't have to do that well for this coin to like really make you fucking rich. Depends how much you come in because the market cap's super, super low. But again, you should never invest a big chunk into Veracity for your overall portfolio. Maximum, maybe 10%. If you want to be a little bit more Jeffrey, 15%. But for me, it's like less than 1%, probably even less than that for my bull run bag. But I have a decent amount of Veracity. I do think it's going to do well. But again, the guys just need to get the market in. Bitcoin needs to recover. Because again, if that doesn't happen, Veracity isn't going to do shit. Crypto.com is probably one of the best exchanges that people like to do. They did super, super well in the last bull run because they were, you know, shilling with Matt Damon. They bought the Staples Center, should I say. They had the Formula One ads. They have UFC ads. I do think this coin does hit the dollar this bull run. But again, it could obviously not do that. But they still have a big ecosystem. A lot of exchanges went down in 2021 as far as I'm aware. Like Crypto.com hasn't had any problems. They have this reward scheme on their card, which I think is super, super good, where you can get cash back for like your groceries. So again, they have a working product. A lot of exchanges don't do this. Like for example, MEXC. MEXC don't do anything but from getting people leverage trading, right? They don't really do anything. But Crypto.com as an exchange, they actually do some cool stuff. Big bull run 2021, had some initial kind of 2 to 3 pumps. It's right back at entry here at about the 0.07, 0.08 cents. I do think this hits $1 in my opinion, but comfortably, I'm going to put it at the 15-20x. I don't think it is a 20x. That'll be below off top kind of territory. But again, take 20% out, and just see where you're kind of at. Your goal here is to not lose money on these coins. So at least get out 50% out when we get that initial phase of the next part of this bull run, and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, Ondo is one of the most probably talked about coins and kind of altcoin space, obviously regarding XRP and Solana, etc. And the reason is because BlackRock owns so much fucking cryptocurrency. They're partnered with these guys. Larry Fink, I think his name is obviously a billionaire. So he obviously owns that, you know, company BlackRock. And yeah, it's kind of a new coin. It hasn't had a 2021 bull run, so it's kind of hard to judge it. But again, 2.7 billion market cap compared to around about, if you go back here to the initial highs of Donald Trump winning the election, yeah, you're basically at a 50% discount. If you look at TradingView, you're kind of seeing first kind of wave, second kind of wave. And again, I think this coin does super, super well. It's not going to give you 100x just because of the market cap, but I do think it comfortably hits maybe $5, maybe a little bit more, depending on how well this coin can do, e.g. BlackRock start to shill it again, and depending on whether their marketing can do. But yeah, I do think it gives you a 10x quite comfortably. It could obviously go much higher than that, but again, we need better prices. If Bitcoin starts to dump and we can get this coin for maybe under 2 billion, under 1.5 billion, yeah, you could stretch it to 20x, 30x plus, absolutely. Now the next coin is Vchain. Vchain is a very interesting one. I've never heard of Vchain. I've never been interested in Vchain, but that doesn't mean it can't do well. If you look at 2021, I wish I fucking held some Vchain, although I would have never sold because I didn't take any profits, so it wouldn't have fucking mattered. You look at the last 1 year in Vchain, it's down 50%, but it has had a nice little pump here, you know, really since Donald Trump won the election. If you look at TradingView, you kind of see 2 big waves. You're kind of back at entries here, almost at the 0.02. Market cap now is 2.1 billion. I want to see the previous market cap on the all-time highs here. Of course, there's some more coins in circulation, or more coins have been released, about 16 billion. That would be about an 8x. So I'm probably going to put it around about the kind of 5 to 10x. I'd like to put this a little bit higher, but comfortably, I think it's going to be here. I don't think it's going to fizzle away. It's obviously had a great bull run in the last bull run. Isn't being talked about that much as far as I'm aware, but I do think it does well in my opinion. Next one is the last one we're going to talk about. Riskier play, $200 million in market cap. It has been having a struggle ever since the launch. But again, Bitcoin's dumping, so what can you really do? The chart looks absolutely fucking disgusting. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm really just going to put it into the 10 to 15x. It could obviously go higher than this one, but it's just a little bit of a risky play, Aether, in my opinion. But again, you built up your main bags first. You know what to do. And that's where I'll put this list. So I'd love to know your comments below where you think, or do you agree with some of my positions? Maybe your coin's not here. Maybe drop in the comments below what other coins are in your portfolio. I maybe do an updated version of this, but I think I've been fair. I don't think I've been too moon boyish. Some of you guys are going to think I'm way too bearish, which I think is good, by the way, because as long as you can take maybe 20, 40% out of these kind of levels, you leave a little moon bag. And the whole goal here is not to lose any money. And you remember, you can sell on the way down. So if Bitcoin starts to peak, let's just say Bitcoin goes to 150, 160K, and then you notice it start to go to 140, 130, round about that Q4 2025, then you can still take profits out on the way down, as long as you're not the one that had to do what we did in the last bull run and we held this shit all the way down. We had to wait 4 years of a lifetime to now officially be in profits. So again, I do think this bull run is going to be a good bull run. Hopefully, obviously at the current time of recording, it's hard to be bullish because of all the bad news, but there's many good news. It's just the liquidations with all these, Binance, Bybit got hacked. We've obviously got the Trump tariffs that just been released that I think is happening on April 2nd. So it's obviously bad news in the market. But again, if you're looking at positions to DC into, you should fucking get excited about buying red, because remember, you buy red, you sell green. You don't want to be one of the guys that think this bull run's over. Maybe you should close down your laptop and go and touch grass and then don't worry about cryptocurrency. It's very difficult right now. I speak to a lot of guys in our private community. I speak to a lot of guys on Twitter. I speak to a lot of guys in the real world that are panicking right now about cryptocurrency. But again, you got in cryptocurrency hopefully for the 4-year bull run, right? If you didn't, I don't really know what to help you, because I'm not a trader. I use DeFi liquidity pools when I can, and I invest my income, my expendable income, into coins for 2025. And if that's not your goal, I'm not one of the YouTubers for you. Go and watch a trading channel. But these coins right now, they're on massive discounts. They could obviously get other discounts more if Bitcoin starts to dump. But ultimately, I'm here for 2025. And by the way, guys, if you want to have a check out in the link in the description of what some of the coins we talked about, like Aerodrome Finance, Solana, Sui, Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Brett, on how I talked about you can make money on DeFi liquidity pools for free if you already hold the token. And there's many more monetized assets we can do. Check out that 10K fast track. It's an absolute free call to do. There's no hard sell in the call. But chances are you probably have some of these coins, and chances are we can help you monetize that assets where maybe you don't have any more income, or maybe you don't want to put any more income in the market. We've had many members hit 10K per month. Our goal is to get every single member to 10K per month and beyond. And if you do think you'd be a good fit, I'd like to get one of my guys, or me personally, if I've got free time, to speak to you on that call to see if we can help you. And if we can, you'll get a valuable call. And if you can, we'll make you an offer, and hopefully we'll see you in our community. Because again, this bull run is going to be very, very rapid in my opinion. But again, in future bull runs, it's all about how can you expand your knowledge, how can you get in the right circles, and how can you use cryptocurrencies, hopefully, to quit your job and really set yourself up.